So, well, what I'll be talking about today is, are you ready? Premarital counseling. Typically, when you hear of this, of course, the name is the name already gives out the meaning. It means the counseling you should do before you get married. But is that straightforward? I will be suggesting a few other things than what people are used to. And let me just go ahead with the session, right? So, premarital counseling, yes. Premarital counseling is not marriage advice. Premarital counseling is not that conversation you people have over newspaper stand and you are reviewing headlines and you see that one celebrity has divorced his wife again, and then everybody starts talking about marriage there, and they say, you see, that's why for this life, marriage is just a scam. In fact, this love is just a scam. They work for some people, it does not work for some people. It depends if you are lucky or we work. It's not all of those kind of parish pump politics talk, that happens over a group of people drinking beer or, crying over a failed relationship and stuff like that. So it is a structured and a deliberate system, where you engage a professional to learn about how to make marriage work. All right. So it's not, like I said, it's not marriage advice. It's not a sermon about marriage. It's not a seminar about marriage. It's not some local general conversation and trending topics about marriage. No, it is a structured engagement, all right, for intending couples to learn how to prepare for a blissful marriage, all right, and they consult a professional for these sessions, all right. Why am I saying this? Because the usual thing that happens almost in every religious institution, I think, is that when people are getting ready for marriage, one of the compulsory things they tell them to do is to come to premarital class. And usually these classes are just few weeks to the day of the wedding, maybe a few months to the day of the wedding. Okay. And sometimes people take those classes, but they are already primed for marriage. Like, what is in view is marriage. Like, this is just a necessary, to fulfill all righteousness. So let's just, we have to take marriage classes. Let's go and take marriage classes, and in some cases, whatever is being said in those classes really does not concern these people, because for them, they are just doing it to tick it off the list. The church will not give us a date if we don't enroll for marriage class. So let's go and enroll for marriage class. Simple, and, some people treat these marriage classes as opportunity to get personal information off of people. You want to know what does not concern you. You just want to get into people's sexual history and people's relationship history, because now you have opportunity to sit down on the other side of the table and ask questions. So I've heard of people who went to such marriage counseling sessions and were really provoked, were really annoyed. Their counselors, as it were just making them vex, because like they're just prying into every private area of your life. They're looking for something that they did not keep there, because opportunity has come to this girl that has been a fine girl since. Let's know how many boys in this church she has slept with. Sometimes you get all those kind of vibes, from the traditional counseling system. So typically some of these things just put people off. Like, they attend because they have to, but man, whatever they want to do is in their minds. Whatever they have in their minds about marriage is there. And then there's also this challenge sometimes where it's like the curriculum or the things that people are taught are just generic and not probably deliberately tailored to speak to them. Okay, so here's some general advice, about marriage. Try to do this, so try to cook for your husband, take care of your wife, pay house rent, to give her upkeep money is very important, do all of those nice things. So you get those general advice that, is typically already out there. It's, everybody knows that, generally saying, there are people who don't know some of these basic things, but at the end of the day, the impact from some of those sessions are just there. Why? Because it is underrated, because people don't know the importance of it, So they don't even know how to treat it, how to plan for it, how to engage it. Okay, let me not even talk about the ones that have a faulty system or an inefficient system and structure of operating, right? Many times the people getting married, all they are thinking of is, my wedding is in 3 months time, and all I know is I want to get married this December. So whatever you people have to do for us to get through these classes, please be fast. Let's finish and let's go and marry and let's live our lives happily ever after, I hope. All right, so that is different from what I am trying to suggest and what I want to talk about. All right, so the concept of premarital counseling I'm talking about is what I want to suggest to people from the moment that you have decided, I can get married to this person, right? You don't need to have even fixed marriage date or wedding date. You don't need, take note of my choice of words. You don't need to have necessarily even done introduction. Once you start telling yourself, I think I can get married to this person, you need to start learning about marriage. If you have not all this while, though, because as a matter of fact, what I even recommend for young people is that from teenage, start learning about marriage. Start learning, start putting things, start creating the kind of marriage you want to have, start learning about it from teenage. Yes, that's what I teach people. From when you're a young adult, start learning about it. Yes. Because at the end of the day, you're going to be spending the rest of your life there, and you need to devote quality time to learn about this institution. All right, so from the moment where you're now getting self-aware, your reproductive organs are beginning to develop, and that is the time to go and start learning about marriage. Yes, that's time to start learning. How will I be a good husband? How will I be a good wife? How will I be a supportive partner? How will I not abuse my partner? How will I, manage my emotions when relating with my partner? How will I relate with my in-laws? How will I raise children? There are so many things you need to start learning. It's not when you have fixed wedding dates. Now, why am I saying that? I'll talk about it. I think there's a portion where I'm going to talk about the benefits of premarital counseling, but from the moment you have started considering somebody that you want to get married to, okay, now take note, okay, this is a learning program that I'm saying you should enroll yourselves in. All right, I'm not necessarily saying that this premarital counseling is going to join you at the end of the counseling session. All right, but one of the reasons why I'm saying from the moment you guys are telling yourselves we can get married to each other, you should start going through those courses, is because one of the benefits is that at the end of the day, you might discover that no need to waste time on this journey. This is not the person. Yeah. There's a lot that will be revealed in the process of that interaction with a professional. And it will be difficult for you if you have already engaged your family, involved everybody, and then it will now be difficult to say, let's not do this anymore. It will be difficult. So before you get to that level, start learning about marriage with the person or just on your own. Enroll, preferably with that person, so that together, you guys together with a professional, you will know whether or not you're ready. Now, what I'm talking about is even different from whatever statutory one you're going to do in your church or in your family. It's different. Enroll the services of a professional to train you about how to have a successful marriage. Okay, this will do you a lot of good, and I'll come to that in a moment. Okay, so this is different from just listening to YouTube messages on marriage and stuff like that. Just listening to a nice sermon by your pastor on marriage. This is different from just asking marriage questions. No, I'm talking about enrolling yourself in a deliberate and structured program, all right, by a professional that will train you and prepare you for marriage. You may wonder what is the difference, and I'll share with you very quickly what you would expect, what you will get from a typical, proper premarital package. Okay, one of the first things that you would engage or you will experience in that session is that there will be some very fundamental profiling that will be done of you and of your partner. Fundamental profiling. It will cover your temperament. You guys are going to get to understand your personality types. Listen, these things are some of the very fundamental things that affect marriages. You don't know why you behave the way you do. You don't know why your husband behaves the way he does. You don't know why you guys respond differently to certain things. Sometimes it's just personality. Many things people have brought to me sometimes are just personality differences playing out. And when you start explaining it to them, they go, oh, no wonder. Oh, yes, this happened yesterday. Oh, now I know I shouldn't have done that. Oh, I thought he was just trying to be mean with me. I didn't know he didn't even understand what I was saying. You see, why? Because they begin to see what the different personalities are and how those different personalities respond and relate with different situations. Marriage is... permit my use of the words, marriage is somewhat technical. There are skills to it. Okay? Marriage does not happen by itself. Marriage does not become successful by default. It does not become successful just naturally. Just say, bring Mr. A, bring Madam B, join them together, and they just live happily ever after. No, it's not by default. There is a lot of learning that needs to go into it. You understand me? There is a lot of learning. And why is this necessary? Because the person you are getting married to is completely different from you. Different from you. Did not grow up in your house. Even if they did, they are different from you. Did not have the same experiences you had growing up. Even if they did, it's still different. There are so many things. Your genders are different. And that impacts on how you see the world, how you process things, how you relate with the world. You see, so those fundamental differences are the reasons you guys need to go and learn some basic things. If not, you will be quarreling over things that you didn't have to quarrel about. Some of those things they call unresolved differences. No, they are resolvable. People just did not know how. They are resolvable things. You see, so it becomes a challenge, where people don't even know about their personalities, about their temperaments. They don't know why they behave the way they do. They don't know why, why there's something different about their own response from their neighbor or their partner's response. They don't know why they are the different person in the room. Understanding your temperament, understanding your partner's temperament will go a long way to just make you know why people behave the way they do. Simple. All right. So a typical premarital counseling, this is one of the first things that will happen. There will be a basic profiling. All right. It's going to cover, generally speaking, it's going to cover things like your personality assessment. It's going to cover things like your love language assessment. It's going to cover things like your cultural beliefs. How do you guys think? How do you see the world? What are your thoughts about marriage? It's going to cover things like your expectations about marriage. Oh my God. If I tell you some of the kind of things we hear when people are sharing their expectations of marriage, you just wonder where do you hope to get that from? Like, how is it even going to happen? Somebody just thinks that when you get married, your life just turns around. You didn't have a job before, now you just have a job. You were sad before, now you just be happy. Ha! Marriage is not a magic wand, though. Alright? So, people need to learn about marriage. Like I said earlier, it's technical. It has its own requisite skills. If you don't apply those kind of skills, you might not achieve the kind of results you want. So you want to learn about those skills. So a typical, professional session will do some of those basic things first, that level of profiling. And that alone, from that point alone, you can even tell whether you are ready or not to continue with this person. Because by the time you see that you guys have completely different sets of beliefs, and even right there in the therapist or the counselor's room, you guys are arguing and you cannot even agree on the same point. Right there and then, you guys will just see that, is this how we are planning to go and do marriage? Is this how we want to do marriage? Where one person tells you, for example, let me use what should I use now? Finance, for example. Where one person tells you that as a guy, you have no business knowing where I work, knowing what I earn, What matters is that I give you money every month. And as a matter of fact, as a woman, you should sit down in the house. What are you looking for outside there? You cannot walk. No, stay in the house. I'm not even opening a shop for you. Just sit down in the house. How can my wife be interacting with other men outside there? You know, they'll not be tripping for you and not be asking you out for what? No, wait, sit down in the house. And then take whatever I give you. And then the lady is saying, no, for goodness sake, I went to school, I did my master's, I want to work, I have a lot to bring to the world. And okay, Mr. Man says, no, the woman I'm going to marry is going to be a housewife, you don't sit at home. Right there and then, you guys will just sit that way too. Our thinking is completely different. It's completely different. We're not saying the same things, or we're not even seeing the same things right now. How is this going to work? You understand? So, at that level, if you are wise, you start asking yourself, wait, is this woman willing to make adjustments? Is this man willing to make adjustments? Is there any chance that we can even agree on what we're going to, do? Sometimes it's even things as basic as spirituality. This one says, I don't believe in going to church. The other one says, no, I must go to church every service day. I cannot miss it for anything. Jesus is everything to me in the world. So you cannot separate me from my job. The man says, I'm not separating from my job, but for goodness sake, you cannot be going to church too much. You just be giving all these pastors your money. And the other one says, no, how can you talk about, already you guys are on different frequencies. A proper professional will be able to navigate you through those conversations that will bring out those differences or similarities. You see? So it's important. You don't just stay and assume that when we marry it will work. You don't just stay and assume that there are things you want to talk about, but you don't bring them up because I don't want her to be angry. I don't want him to be angry. Let's just marry first. When we get to that bridge, we'll cross it. Many people have not crossed that bridge yet. They haven't. They are still stuck there. In fact, the road got spoiled where the bridge is, so they cannot cross. That's where they just go separate ways. Because when they should have tackled those fundamental things with the help of a professional, they didn't. And I'm speaking about a professional because people go to school for this thing I'm talking about. People learn it. I know how much I have invested in time, in studies, in certifications, in materials, on this path that I am. This year alone, I know what my okay, let's not get into that. But I know what my budget is for learning this year alone. In Naira, it's in 7 digits. All right? Because there is knowledge we have to keep acquiring. We have to keep learning. There are skills, there are technologies, there are so many things involved. You have to keep improving yourself. You have to be on this path, you have to be a steady learner. So there are things that we know about that you would not readily find just out there because it took studies and research to get into those kind of things. You see, so it's important. But then many people disregard these things. Many people don't know it. Many people don't know it. They say it will just work. My parents won't work. My grandparents won't work. What will make my own different? So many things make your own different. The generations are different. The dispensations are different. The woman you're getting married to now is completely different from your grandmother and your mother. They don't think alike at all. The man you're getting married to now does not think like the way, the man you're getting married to perhaps still thinks the way his grandfather used to think. And you, the woman that he wants to get married to, your thinking has moved on from the way your own grandmother used to think. So there's already a problem there. Because the man might still remain a traditional man and tell you, this is how I want my things, this is how things should be done, my way or the highway. And the woman is saying, for what? No, that cannot happen here. Hello, I'm not a robot. Hello, I'm not your house girl. I'm a wife. I have my own degree. I have my training. I have my skills. Do you understand? So things are changing. All right? So it's important that you engage a professional for premarital counseling. Way before you are fixing wedding date, way before you're even telling your parents and everybody that, see who I want to marry. Just like I said, go through that program, as an informal, per se, learning activity that should even advise both of you whether or not you are ready to go on this journey. Okay? When you have crossed that hurdle and everything is good and fine, necessary checks have been given, at the end of the day, you guys are going ahead or not going ahead, fine, you can then go ahead with the other family things and all that. Because it gets more difficult when it is 2 weeks to the wedding and you're now discovering things that you cannot cope with. Imagine how terrible it's going to be. A lot of people are going to be hurt. A lot of people are going to cancel on their plans. People who are coming in from far, who have booked tickets, are going to be stranded, are going to be angry, So many things will be impacted. But when these kind of sessions are taken ahead of time, all right, it helps to, to just completely avoid all of those kind of mix-ups. But let me tell you the ultimate I even recommend. While you are single, start learning. While you are single, start learning. While you are single, you can enroll for a premarital class. Yes, you don't need to have a boo in your life at that point. Just learn. Learn for yourself. Learn so that you can be a better person. Yeah. Somebody wants to join me on the live? Okay, I can bring you on later, but maybe not just now. Okay? Learn for yourself so that you can be a better person for your spouse. So let me say it. If there's anyone who is from the age of 18, you intend to get married, you intend to have a beautiful home, and you have not engaged in any deliberate preparation for it, please and please and please start already. Buy books, enroll for courses, engage the services of a professional, attend seminars, start learning. I have said on these sessions severally how that many of the things I'm teaching people now, I have learned them since I was in my teenage years. Since then, I had desired the kind of marriage I wanted to have. I knew exactly certain things that are playing out now. I knew them then. I knew exactly. It's not. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised that I'm having a beautiful home. I would have been surprised if I'm not. Okay, it's not rocket science. It's not chance. No. Okay, so from the moment you are self-conscious as a teenager self, start learning. Yes, start learning. You don't need to have a boyfriend or a girlfriend. Start learning. Start learning already. Because it is all of this knowledge, it's all of this preparation you make now that you're going to take into that marriage. One of the major reasons for divorce everywhere is lack of preparation. It's one of the major reasons. Lack of preparation for marriage. And that is why people get in few weeks in, 2 weeks in. Some people are saying, no way, this cannot work at all. This is the same person you were head over heels for. This is the same person you were saying, I will die for you. I will even kill for you. I will do anything for you. You are my life. If they remove you from my life, I will die. Now you are the one saying that I cannot live with you anymore. In fact, you disgust me. You see, what happened? What has changed? They were not prepared. They did not tell them, say, see how the road is. They did not know. They thought it was just, happily ever after. But that happily ever after does not happen by default. It is prepared for. You bring it in. You serve it yourself, to your partner. It doesn't happen by magic. Your partner is not the one with the sole responsibility to make you happy. All right? So these are things that people need to learn in premarital classes. Oh yeah. Let me not stay too long there. All right. So I said that some of the things that a professional will engage you on your personality. They'll tell you the impact of your upbringing. And why you are behaving the way you are behaving. Why you believe the things you believe. They're going to talk about your expectations for marriage. They're going to talk about your love language. Many people still don't know what love means to them. Love doesn't, as per expressions of love now, all right, doesn't mean the same thing to everyone. There are people who want it in a particular way. There are those who don't. Some people are giving to gifts. Some people don't really give a hoot about gifts. Give me gift or not, I'm fine. All right. Some people want quality time. Some people want acts of service. Some people want, what are those 5 things again? Quality time, acts of service, in no particular order. Words of affirmation, gifts, physical touch. Do you understand? There are those 5 things that stand out as love languages. You see, so some people don't even know what really applies to them. So they're going to be struggling to love their partners and then to even communicate what they want to their partners. And you'll be there getting angry every day. She doesn't love me. He doesn't love me. She doesn't respect me. But you don't even know what you want or how to communicate it. All right. So some other things you would learn in a proper premarital session is communication. The importance of communication, how to communicate, the how do you call it, effective communication in marriage. You're going to learn it. All right, communication is everything. It's everything. It's what determines whether or not that marriage is going to work, to a very large extent. To a very large extent, how you communicate, how you interpret things, how you respond to things, how you understand things. Okay, communication is what will determine whether there will be conflict or no conflict. For example, someone said something, you understood it this way, you responded that way, and then there's problem everywhere. Meanwhile, from the beginning, nobody was meant to get hurt. You see, so another very important thing is money management. Money is big deal. Money is one of the things that causes problems in homes. You're going to learn all these things before you get in. This one says, my money is my money. How did they say that thing now? Girls, ladies, remind me. Because it's mostly a ladies' line. His money is my money, but my money is my money. You see, that's wisdom of the world. It does not make sense in kingdom marriages. It's going to give you problems. Okay, you cannot be married to somebody, you're one in every other thing, then you're holding back your finances. All right. So at the end of the day, there's supposed to be joint effort. Does not remove the responsibility of the man in any way at all. Does not reduce his responsibility, does not remove it, but you cannot say that all that you're earning is just for yourself to have a good life, while his is for all of you. If that is the formula that the family, the couple, both you and your wife agree on, all right, yeah, but good to see you, man. If that is what you guys agree on, the man is earning enough to take care of the home and he's telling you, whatever you're earning, just save it, use it to pamper yourself, use it to plan vacations, if that is the formula you guys agree on, excellent, right? But not that you come in with that mindset and then you're withholding your own resources when it can be useful to the family. Okay, yeah, ladies say my money is my money, but his money is our money. Yeah, that's the quote I was trying to make. So you don't do that. Somebody asked me a question in one of the places I was speaking at, and the person said, she does business, so she gets money every day, but the husband is a salary earner, and the salary he brings in many times does not last till the end of the month. And then she's complaining that she cannot be waiting for the end of the month for him to bring the next money to do what they need to do. And I asked her, but what are you earning money for? You're in business, you have money every day. You can afford some of those things, but because you have told yourself, my money is my money, you will hold on to your money, suffer yourself, starve your children. You can't even do that if you're a proper woman. No woman will deliberately hold back when her family needs, her children especially need to feed. All right? You have the resources, then go ahead and deploy the resources. You guys are a team, work together. All right, so that's just an example, but you see, there's a lot that people need to learn about money management in marriage. There are so many dynamics in marriage, so many dynamics. Listen, at the point you guys are getting married, everything might be going so well for you, the man, you're the breadwinner, you're feeling proud of yourself. Down the line, things may change, or you might even get promoted to one post like that in your office, and then catastrophe, things will just go south. And before you say Jack Robinson, you're out of job. Now it is your wife that was not earning as much as you before that you're now going to be depending on. Things can change. Things come up in marriage. All right. If you don't understand, if you don't have the right mindset, if you don't have the proper formulas to run your finances, then at that point you guys are just going to be frustrated, and then before you know, there'll be quarrel. If your wife does something, you say, is it because you're earning more than me now? Is it because I don't have money? You know what? Terrible things just start happening. The foundation many times is just lack of preparation. Many times that's just the foundation for all of those issues. Many times, just lack of preparation. Okay, so other things you're going to learn, of course, the conversation about sex is definitely going to come up. All right, so many people do it, but does not mean they even know how to make it proper love making for their spouses. Many people still have sex very selfishly. All they're thinking of is what they're going to get, how they're going to be cool, how they like it, how they want it. Then when they're done and dusted, they move on. They don't really care whether their partner is even game and carried along with all of these things they're doing. They don't care whether what they want their partner to do is completely forbidden, in his or her frame of, mind. No, I can't do that, never. They just, I want it, you have to give it, selfishness. So sex is another big deal. It's another big deal. In fact, there are certain things they say are the key, no, not like key, but are major things that cause problems in marriages. Money is one of them. Sex is the other one. All right. Money, sex, etc. All right. So in your premarital class, these are the kind of things that should typically be touched. Okay, let me move a bit faster because the other things I want to just close with. Another very important thing, you guys are going to learn how to create a marital vision. All right, you guys need to be on the same page. You need to know how you want to run your home. Do you know, guys, that there are many people who get married and sincerely all they are thinking of is they and their spouse, just man and wife. They don't remember that children will come, and they don't. They are so myopic in their thinking. All they are thinking of is how they want to enjoy this woman and how she looks good, see her fine shape, see her fine body, and they are doing freely. You don't know that all those things you are doing is about to lead to pregnancy. Yeah? And then she gets pregnant and a man starts behaving like he's confused. Like he did not know she was supposed to get pregnant. Like he did not know there will be changes to her body. Like he did not know there will be changes to her hormones. All right? Now she's acting a kind of way. You are pissed off. You are irritated. You can't tolerate it. You can't. And you start, for goodness sake, what did you think you were getting into? What did you think you were getting into? As a man, you have to know this. All right? Your wife, under normal circumstances, will get pregnant. Based on what you are doing with her, it will happen. All right? And when that time comes, it is your duty to show her love, to be there for her, to even understand her more than you have before. Because what she's going through now is completely different from anything she has experienced before with you. All things being equal, some people have gone down that road 5 times before they marry. That's not what I'm talking about. All things being equal. All right? But you have to be there for her. You have to show love. You have to show understanding. You have to show sacrifice. You have to do things for her. You have to be there for her. There are changes going on in her body. Sometimes she cannot sleep. And then she still has to go to work. And then she still has to come back. And then you sit down and fold your legs and tell her the house is dirty. What did you cook? I'm hungry. I told you I don't like yam and egg. I want yam and stew. You just hear funny things and you're wondering, okay, what's going on here? Is this your wife that you're talking to? Or, do you understand what I'm saying? Okay, because they did not prepare for when that time will come. Or is it when the children come? And then all of a sudden you just discover that children can be stressful. Children can be annoying. You want them to sleep, they say, no way, I'm not sleeping, I want to be awake. You try everything, they cry, they disturb you, they pee, you are just wondering, what is all this? And you see, sometimes I see people lose it for their children. When we tell you prepare, you get why. Prepare for these moments because they are coming. Why are you shouting at that child? Why are you rebuking that child with so much anger, spanking on that child, as though the child even knew what he or she was doing? A child is just there being a child, innocent, not knowing what is harmful, not knowing what is not harmful, what is safe, just living life trusting that you are there to protect them. And then they do some silly things sometimes and you angrily spank that child. That's just so wrong. Why? Because you did not take time to prepare and to learn that those times will come. And when those times come, there is a way to respond. There's how to treat them. There's how to prepare for them. You see? So some people get married and start behaving as though children happened on them as an emergency. I just slept and woke up and children, what should I do now? Meanwhile, you had all the time in the world to plan for them, to prepare for them. And this is another thing that will be very helpful to you in premarital counseling, because from there you're going to have an idea the kind of father or the kind of mother that this person you are even talking about is going to be, or talking about getting married to, is going to be in the future. Yes. From proper premarital class, certain things are going to be revealed. How this person thinks, how they relate with children, how they think about the household. Do you understand? And you're going to be asking yourself, is this the kind of man I want my son to be like? Is this the kind of man I want to be a role model for my daughter? Is this the kind of father figure I want my children to have? You're going to ask yourself those questions. Is this the kind of woman that I want to be the mother of my children? And this is how she thinks. And this is how she behaves. Is this how we're going to be doing it? You're telling yourself, no, this is dangerous. So I have to either, work on this thing or take a walk. Do you understand? Those kind of things will be reviewed. These are things people don't consider. All you are thinking of is she's a fine girl, I like her, she like me. The last time we saw her, it was very, very romantic. Oh, very beautiful moments. You snap picture, you guys look good together. Chai, our clothes even match. And you're just thinking of very silly things. Then you get married and discover that, hey, there's a whole world you were not aware existed. All right? A whole world you were not aware existed. And then the little things begin to cause the problems. And let me tell you, in marriages, it is the little things that cause the problems. It's the little things. It's the little things. Those little things that stem out of your differences. Those little things where both parties are actually right, but they are just looking from the wrong or from different perspectives. Those little things where one party doesn't know that at this point I should drop whatever I think and identify with my partner and see it from their own point of view. Those little things. Those little things where you know you are right, but you just choose to be wrong so that that argument could come to an end, so that you guys can stop all of this thing and go back to that lovey-dovey couple that you are. The little things that says you should say I'm sorry when your partner is hurt. The little things that says you should pay attention to your partner's feelings, to your partner's emotions, even though you really don't feel like doing that. In fact, you are angry. In fact, they provoked you. But then you don't want that hurt to remain. So you have to make the move for reconciliation. Those little things. Those little things. Where your partner says something that you did not understand and you reacted, you took it off. And then your partner is so hurt and so disappointed and you hold your grounds and say, yes, I know what I'm saying. When deep down you know, I think I took this thing off with my partner. It wasn't the right thing I said. Those little things. Those little adjustments. That's how I am. I don't take nonsense. Once I'm angry, I just scatter everywhere. You know, those little things. And your partner is saying, no, calm down. Don't be angry. But you say, no, that's how I am. That's how you are is what is most likely going to cost you the joy and peace of your marriage. You see? So these are things that you learn and are identified when you enroll for those kind of classes. And like I said, do this way before you even fix your wedding date. It's not when your marriage is next month here that you are saying, where are we going to start from? See problem. What am I going to do now? Because the whole world is already aware that you are getting married, is preparing for your wedding. You know, they have spent money already, they have contributed, they have sewn clothes, they have done all of those things, bought tickets and all of that. How is it at that point that you're going to tell them, it's like this marriage will not happen? Yeah, some people have the courage at the last minute to even cancel. Yeah. It takes a lot of courage to do that, right? It takes a lot of courage to do that. But then how would you be able to do that if at the last minute you're discovering that you and this person are on a completely different path? Completely different. How would you start making changes? That is why you must enroll on this very important something called premarital counseling or premarital coaching or premarriage classes. Anyone it is called where you are. But that deliberate and structured program coordinated by a therapist or a professional counselor, all right, you know, that will train you for marriage. Many people are having good marriages by chance. So let me tell you what I mean by chance. You know, somehow one party does not just have strength for quarrel, so that one is just swallowing all of the rubbish of the other party, of the other partner. You know, so just for peace to reign, for peace to reign, for peace to reign. You say you will refund the money. Where will you start the refunds from? When you have mobilized caterer, you have mobilized this, you have mobilized that, you have spent a lot. Sometimes it will be hard. The whole process will just be heart-wrenching. You know, so these things are important. People need to know. Go and now that you are single, you have some spare time, go and engage the services of a premarital coach. Go and talk to somebody. Go and watch videos on YouTube. Go and watch our videos, you know, on Love Code with Maisie, all that we have, because everything we have been doing is about your relationship. It's about marriage. So go and watch those videos. It's about making you a better person. Exactly, Mona. How many people can you really refund? How many can you really refund? In fact, there's some that will tell you, when you ask them that, okay, we're not doing again, give us our money back, they'll say, we don't used to do like that in this company. Any day you decide to get married, let us know. We'll come and perform the service, but we cannot refund the money. We have used it. We have procured materials. What will you do? And then go and start fighting that you must give me my money today, or you must give me my money today. No, you won't do that. Yeah, if it's contributors, it's easier to refund. If you have not engaged the fund, or if you have engaged it, where will you get it from? You see? So these are challenges that people can avoid. And that is why every time you hear me talk, I say people are making avoidable mistakes. These mistakes can be avoided. Just listen to counsel. Apply your heart to training. Apply your heart to training. You can avoid those mistakes. You can. But some people have sworn in this life that they have come to this world to suffer. Everything must be by struggle. We must struggle. If we are lucky, we make it. If they are not lucky, they don't make it. That's no, don't be like that. Choose the path of wisdom. Choose the path of knowledge. Choose the path of learning. Choose the path of self-development. All right? Choose all these paths now. And part of the things that premarital counseling will do for you, it will expose you to those areas where you are weak and you need to invest in learning. Many times when people say that they want to change their partners, what I tell them is, if that partner really wants to change, one of the first things they should do is go and see a professional. Go for therapy. Go see a counselor. Go see a coach. If they really want to change you, not that you want to change them and it's you that is going for counseling on their behalf so that what you learn, you can go and teach them. No, they are not ready. If they are ready, let them go for counseling. Let them go for therapy. Those are the kind of times where you can tell the person, okay, I will be observing you. If the therapy works for you, good and fine. Maybe we can pick it up from where we left it. Because there's no commitment in front. There's no date people are looking at. You have not told your father, your mother anything. No. Do you understand? If 6 months down the line, the person is still an idiot, is still behaving anyhow, all right, you move on with your life. 1 year down the line, this person has not changed in any way, you move on with your life. Someone says, when do you start having this conversation or going for counseling? Thank you very much. Very good question. All right. So I had said earlier on this program that what I actually recommend for people is from when you start becoming self-aware. As a young adult, in your teenage, start learning about marriage. Now, you may have passed through teenage, and of course, as a teenager, what you're thinking of was how to get admission into university, and how to pass JAMB, maybe after writing multiple times and stuff like that. So, of course, marriage is not what you're thinking of, right? Then you have gone to the university, probably had 1 or 2 boyfriends or girlfriends, and it was a mess. It did not work. Now you have left university, and it's like you're about to start taking responsibility for your life now. Please don't only be pursuing job, Start pursuing knowledge about marriage. So basically, when should you start learning it? Once you are a young adult. Before you get into a relationship, before you get into a committed relationship, before you get busy with every other thing, or while you're doing every other thing, schedule for this all-important activity. That's why I called it the underrated necessity. Because it is necessary, but people don't even know it, so they don't plan for it. It does not feature anywhere in their conversations until suddenly they want to get married. And then they just go for 2 weeks. Crash program. Morning to night. Quick, finish, make we go. Or you do 3 months before or 4 months before because your church tells you until you finish that, we will not agree on the wedding date. So you rush and go and do it so that they can agree on the wedding date. And meanwhile, your heart is not even fully there. You're not even paying attention. All you're saying to yourself is, let's be quick and finish this thing so that we can move on. You see, there is a lot that is happening in the world we live in today. So many things have changed. Some of you, the advice that your parents gave you about marriage, that advice is what will destroy the marriage. Because where they were advising from was from a very faulty foundation, out of their own faulty experiences. Okay, what worked for them that has long changed and cannot even be applied in this age. And then that's all you are listening to? No. So many people's parents' advice is what have killed their marriage, or what has killed their marriages. So you can't just say, we use native intelligence, or I will just study my parents' marriage. I just study it. I'll just learn whatever they did. It might not work for you because the times are different. All right, raising children in this age and raising children. I mean, come on. I don't even need to say this. Raising children now and raising children then, of course, so many things are different. The children born in this age cannot in their wildest dreams imagine that there was a time there were no computers, or there was a time there were no cell phones. They cannot even imagine it. The children born in this age that at 6 months is swiping phone or playing with phone, basically, the children born in this age that don't even know that there was such a time when people used to write letters. No, a lot of things are different. A lot of things are different. So many things are different. All right. So if you just say you want to go with native intelligence, or as it was in the beginning, so it's now. No, it's not now. It has changed. A lot has changed. All right. So basically, I think I should just wrap it up now. My time is almost up. But these are the things that premarital counseling, premarital coaching, pre-marriage academy, or pre-marriage school, or marriage, whatever name it goes by. The summary of what I'm saying is plan for and get involved in a structured learning for marriage. All right. Oh yes, thank you, Eddie, for that point. Some hereditary advice are outdated. They don't work no more. Nope. Okay, so start planning for a structured learning. And these things are easier these days because there are courses you can take. There are courses everywhere, on Udemy, on Coursera, I have my own courses on my website. You'll see my course. There's the one that is before you say I do. Okay, that one is a shorter course, and then there's a more robust one that is Marital Bliss is Possible. That one has about 22 modules. It's heavy, it's big deal, but with the price you would even know that it's different. All right, what I did there was I practically just put together a virtual session of marriage counseling and delivered to you. Okay, so these things are out there, and I will encourage you, go and get materials, go and start learning, go and enroll for courses. When you hear that there is a pre-marriage or a relationship seminar happening somewhere, make it a point of duty to be there. If it's within your location, make it a point of duty. I still remember certain things I learned in different marriage counseling and marriage or relationship seminars I attended at different stages of my life. As a teenager, I still remember some of those things now. I still remember when I heard the words for the first time in my life that respect means a lot to the man. It fills up his tank. Whatever you do as a woman, place respect very importantly for your husband. I still remember when I heard that many years ago. I was a teenager. I still remember when I heard many years ago that, hey, better start preparing for your marriage now, because that is where you're going to be spending the most of your life. Because typically, if you get married in your 30s, and then in Nigeria, they say life expectancy is about 70, right? If you get married in your 30s, and all things being equal, or God calls the person home at 70, you have spent more years married than unmarried. And that is the truth. You're going to spend more years of your life married than unmarried. That's where you're going to spend the rest of your life. So why not start preparing for it now? You don't want to get into that unprepared. You don't want to get into that and just trust fate and say, what will be, will be. No, that's not how marriage works. Okay? So that is why I coined the topic, the underrated necessity. Premarital counseling is that underrated necessity. It is important. You need to go for it. You need to start learning. You need to, because of distance and all of that, technology has even made things easier. There are courses that are already recorded. Buy those courses, do the exercises in them, engage with the process, and watch your life get better. All right? I need to stop now because my time is actually up. Excuse me. All right, so my time is up, so I need to stop here. If there's any question quickly, you can just drop it. Let's touch it quickly. Okay, but if not, I want to just talk about my services for a bit. I have a coaching hub, a mentorship hub. All right, and basically what that does for you is it just gives you privileged access. Okay, for members of that hub, you can call me at any time and say, hey, I want to talk to you, and we don't treat it like a session. We are not paying for it. Yes, you already made the first one-time payment, all right, of 10,500, very small money in naira. I don't even know what that is in other currencies. It's too small, too negligible. All right, but it's just a one-off thing, and that one is actually for people who I consider friends and family. I don't want to bill you typical standard rate for sessions and stuff like that. So just take that, and anytime you can holler at me, let's talk. So what God cannot do doesn't exist. Oh yeah, so true. So true. In what context did you even say this, Amara? All right. So yeah, and that's that. Just go on my website, coachmazy.com, and you'll see everything you need to know about our services, or go on the link tree in our profile, and you would also see access to our services and what we do. God bless you guys. I hope it's been a good use of your time. I'll need to stop now if there is no question. Okay, please don't forget, going forward, for a period, actually I'm going to observe this for a period, but we'll be doing this here on Facebook Live. All right, so spread the word, tell others, and then be here. All right, after this session is going to be hosted here on the platform, so you can always come back and rewatch. If you haven't followed Single and Ready Club here on Facebook, please follow us so that you become a member of the family. All right, God bless you guys. Have a wonderful rest of the evening, and see you guys next Wednesday. I said earlier that I'll be having certain sessions on Saturdays also, okay, but proper information will come for that, whether it will be over Zoom, over Facebook, or Instagram. Proper information will come for that, so just be on the lookout, and God bless you. Have a wonderful rest of the day. A blissful marriage is possible, and you deserve it. All right, bye for now.